Hey, it's Brenda Ringe with It Is What It Is with Powerhouse Property Group and J. Parr, the Sears Group. I sure hope you're doing awesome today because I know I am. But I also have this really awesome person today. We're going to doing today is the mentor coaching, but spotlight. So I'm going to spotlight Courtney Schaefer today. She's actually, yes, a mentor, but a coach too. And you're probably asking, well, what's the difference? Well, there's a difference, and she's going to explain it to you because she's awesome at what she does. So, Courtney, thank you for being here with me today. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me. And as always, it's a pleasure to hang out with you anytime.
That's what they say.
I don't know. I say.
I don't know if I believe it. Sometimes I can be like, yeah, okay. But thank you for that. I enjoy your time, too. So, let's talk about this. Okay, so I know when I first met you, we kind of came at JPAR around the same time.
Yes.
We were both became like mentors with...
We're the OGs.
We're the OGs.
Yes.
Does that stand for original girls or original what? I don't know.
We're the originals.
So what's the G stand for? What?
This wasn't a test. You asked me about coaching.
Well, I'm an OG, whatever that be. I'm an OG. Okay. Well, it's original something, so I figure it's original girl.
Yes, we're original girls.
Or original girls of JPAR.
Oh, yes. There was 5 at the beginning.
Right.
And I think there's over 12 today.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the thing is that, so one day, Courtney is really delved into our KV core system, which is a CRM, okay? And that's, she said, you know what, I think my team at the time, we were like her first people to come in, and she was kind of showing us and doing stuff with KV core because she had so much information to share with us because we were all still newer with the company learning this program, and it was great. And so I remember that at that time you were like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm not sure if I know what I'm doing right. It's like, you're doing it good. We learned, right?
Yes, we were all learning at that time.
Yeah. So you just took it by the horns and ran with it. And going through that process of doing that, you started a Tech Tuesday.
Yes.
So tell us about Tech Tuesday.
Okay, I'll tell you about Tech Tuesday. So in our industry, as you know, we can get a real estate license, getting our classes, let's keep it real and honest. We get our real estate license, and that teaches us how to stay out of jail, right?
Real estate jail.
So the thing is pretty much when you go and you switch to actually learning how to be a real estate agent and actually how to get clients, none of that you're really taught in our classes,
school. Yeah.
Right? So who teaches you that? And so when you go to a brokerage, you're going to look at, when you interview a brokerage, they're not your employer. Remember?
That's right.
So they're your partner in business. And so you're interviewing them just as much as you're being interviewed to see if it's a good fit.
Right.
So, and you're actually asking questions to them. What's your tech stack? At JPAR, the Sears Group, we have a tech stack that is like drinking from a fire hose. It is very well thought out, number one. All of our tech is the top in the business. So we haven't created something from scratch that is now dated.
Right.
Because we're trying to keep up with the coding and the 2.0, 3.0, 4.0.
Right.
We're not doing that. We've just gone straight to the best in the business. And I believe that KV Core is very user friendly, but there was a gap. There was a gap from it's because it comes ready in a box.
Yeah.
You put in a contact and it works. It has artificial intelligence. It is connected to our website. It's connected to our MLS. It has a data sheet. It pulls everything together. And it is like hiring a $20,000, $30,000 assistant when you set it up properly. But what does that mean? So I broke it down a couple of years ago, and the whole point is the strategy.
Yeah.
And we're not taught a strategy and how to do real estate business. They say, work on a business plan, work on a brand, work on a slogan, work on all these different things.
And we're like, huh?
Yeah. And they're like, okay, I got a brand, I got a slogan, and I know how to show houses, but what's your strategy? And so I started really digging deeper into the technology of it and knowing that we had to parallel our strategy and business to our tech stack. And so there's a process before you actually get started with your technology.
Right.
And so that's where the difference between mentoring and coaching really came and really split, because in mentoring, you're still teaching them how to fill out a contract.
Right.
Right. Or what forms are needed, or just from trial and error in our transactions. Hey, look, this is how you do leases. Here's a tip or trick here.
Right.
Here's a tip or trick here. And everybody wants that manual,
Yeah.
for what do I do if I get a lease? What do I do if I get a buyer? You have to create your own. And that's where everybody's like, wait, you're not going to give this to me? No, because every single agent is different. Every single transaction is different. And you have to document what you do so you can prepare for the future. So in teaching a mentee that, they don't really understand strategy until they get a few transactions under their belt. And they really don't understand their niche until they start combining their passion and their talent with their career. And our mentor.
You put that so well.
Oh, well, thank you. I learned it from Chris Sears. Yes, it's a nice little Venn diagram. You want to go the nerdy route, but it's...
Is that one of those diagrams?
It's
like
the three circles.
The circles and the... Okay, yeah.
So it's the three circles and where all the circles meet in the
In
middle.
Yep.
That is the Quan, right?
Okay.
If we're quoting Jerry Maguire. But anyway, so... but really, those three things brings it together, and it always goes back to strategy. So when you're teaching a mentee how to begin in business, it's really about their tech stack, the process, a buyer's questionnaire, a seller's questionnaire, your listing presentation, buyer's presentation. Coaching switches it to where they already have all of that. It's where you're polishing it. So, I think everybody in real estate has read the MREA real estate book, right? So in there, you plateau. So you get, at the very beginning, you're going to get your friends, your family, and really anybody close to you, anybody that will listen to you, that you are a real estate agent.
Right.
And you're going to get business. But then right after that, when all of those kind of die down, where's the lead generating?
Right.
Where's your niche? Do you have a farming area? You really don't get those because you're really just trying to put out fires probably the first 2 years of real estate. Let's be honest.
Yeah, just
right?
learning it and knowing it. And then if you're not, and if you're doing them every 6 months, you're not going to remember and you're going back to that. So yeah, you're right. I mean, so first couple of years, it's going to take.
Yes. And you have to get your ducks in a row. You have to get,
ducks.
all your...
There's lots of ducks out there you got to get in a row.
Yeah. I can talk about... yeah. Let's not talk about... I think the main focus for the mentees, though, is to get past that plateau as quickly as possible.
Yes.
And then the seasoned agents, we get comfortable. We really get comfortable.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to ask an honest question to you. Are you ready? How many listing presentations do you think you did in your first 2 years?
My first 2 years listing presentations.
Be honest.
I'm trying to be honest, and I'm trying to remember. I think in my first 2 years, I probably worked more with buyers, so really doing listing presentations was not my thing. I think because a lot of times in the beginning, some people want to stay away from listings because, I know I did. It's like, oh my gosh, there's just too much. I got to know, or I got to do this. Or we think, then the expensive photos, the expensive this, the expensive that. And then, if your home's not selling, they're going to come, what is you not doing right? So that was me in my first. So
Me too.
And then going into, so you're working with buyers, but then when you, like you said, because everybody says, the listings are really where it's at. That's where you want to be because it just makes more sense, right? So honestly, at that point though, the relationship building is there to honestly, I think maybe I probably presented two where I've put together a listing presentation and one was to an engineer and he looked at it and then he just, okay, and we just kept talking. He never looked at the book. And I'm like, what the heck did I do all this for?
Yes.
So you get frustrated.
I know.
And then
I did the same thing.
At the end of the day, I was just talking. And I would just go in very simple and, look, here are some numbers. This is just what we're pulling. Let's talk about this. Show me your home. And that's really how we went from that. And they worked with me because they liked me and they trusted me, and I think they valued the fact of what I brought to them. And at the end of the day, that's how it really worked.
Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of agents don't get the strategy right at the beginning to know that they need a listing presentation. They need a buyer's presentation, because educating the client prevents chaos.
Yes.
And chaos is what you don't want, because number one, the deal's not going to go through. Your numbers and your conversion rates are not going to be where you want them to be. So when you go from mentoring to coaching, you actually look at all of that and you look at numbers a different way. You look at your presentations a different way. Yeah. And I have always felt that if I wanted to be a coach, I needed to be coached. And so I've done coaching my full career because iron sharpens iron.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Collaboration is thinking outside the box. There's so many different tools that we can use that are for our industry that I don't even know about them, and I have Google alerts set for them. So
Would you nerd?
I know, I'm a complete nerd. But the tool stack that we have is so in depth that how do you learn all of it? How do you really get to know what is the best for your business? Because I just had an interview with a new coaching client, and they were like, "We're just stuck." I was so successful, and I did this, and then I started getting these subscriptions, and I bought this, and I bought that, and I bought this, and then they freaked out because they were doing so well, and they spent all this on these subscriptions, but they didn't have a strategy.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh my gosh." And they had to even go back to work because they did not see where they could have a strategy to keep a level business. And that is where the coaching comes in, because you already know the contracts.
Yeah.
You already know how to talk a buyer into choosing you. But it's really about the follow-up.
Yeah.
Hello, what is the number one thing agents, seasoned agents, any agent, what do they don't do?
They don't follow up, or they don't put it into a CRM.
Yes.
They don't follow up. You just think, okay, so you have nothing that you're being able to go back to. Like at the end of the year, your client appreciation, who are you going to invite? Who did you do? What did you have? Who are you sending what to as far as cards, keeping in touch with people who are leases, because they're going to be buyers.
Or nurturing them the entire year of saying, hey, here's a tip right here to agents. Agents, if you're listening, listen to this. You can actually improve their credit score by getting them to, if they're at an apartment, they're late on day 3, 5, 6.
3.
And so I haven't done a lease in a while, but on that day, they're late with their payment, but that is not a 30-day late. So that will actually improve their credit if they have that submitted to the credit bureaus. And most people don't know that. So educating your clients and following up with them and nurturing to the next point, you really don't have to go out of your sphere. If you talk to top producers, guess what? You ask them, where do all your leads come from? Our sphere. We nurture our sphere.
Our database. It's just,
Yes. And so if it's not in your CRM, it doesn't exist. So because your CRM is like having an assistant,
right,
and it's going to follow up and remind you. We can think that we're going to remember their dog Fido is the cutest little dog ever, but in a year you're going to be like, oh, how's Poodles? I mean, you're not going to know. You're not going to remember the dog's name because you have put out so many fires. So don't really trust yourself to remember everything. Take that off your plate. And so what that does in coaching is you create these systems and these processes to actually make you the top producer. Take things off your plate. And you know where that comes? Balance. And it actually feeds into the balance of your life. That means you're time blocking. That means you're spending family time. And this career isn't taking away from the joy in your life.
Yeah. Because it can definitely do that.
Definitely. And I think that's where seasoned agents going from, being a mentee, going into mentorship, then they know how to do transactions, and then they're out there killing it, and then they plateau. And then they need to be into coaching. One of my coaches, I did Tom Ferry coaching, and my coach, Mark, he was phenomenal. And there was one day I was ready to quit. I was 6 months into coaching with Tom Ferry, and something just hit me, and I wanted to quit. And it was right around my birthday, and I'm like, I'm just done. I'm done. Yeah. And it was Coffee with Chris, and it was from 9 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday on Zoom. And so, but it ended at 10. My call was at 11:50. Amazing coach tip is give them an awkward time to meet with you and they'll remember it. So 11:50, I remember it was like 11:15 and I'm like, I'm out. I was packing up my whole desk. I was organizing my pencils. I was getting ready for my Zoom, and I was basically going to tell him I was out of real estate. And he said, whoa, what's going on? And I said, this is, I'm just hitting a dead end. I feel like I'm not moving the ball down the field. Yeah. And I think that we feel that in real estate.
Yeah.
Especially when we plateau. And it's like, I'm doing everything I can, and I am not getting the results that I want. And so I'm like, he looked at me and he goes, Courtney, pick a field. I had so many different fields open that I did not have one that I was trying to really focus on. And we do that in real estate. Do you know the coaches, the coaching clients that I've coached, I ask them, what has been successful? Do you know once they do it and it's successful, they don't do it again? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they go back to their farming area? Why wouldn't they stay in their community with the swim team if their child's on the swim team for the next 10 years?
Right.
You know, that's your niche, and that's where you grab on, and your ROI, your return on investments, right? And so I think that's where seasoned agents need a focus.
Yes.
To be like, hey, you don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
You know, because we could go to a class every 30 minutes for all week long if we wanted to. They're available to us.
Yeah, they are.
Right? And it's so much information coming in, but what do we focus on?
Yes.
And you have to stay true to your commitment and your focus and your niche. And that's what I think the difference between mentoring and coaching is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a really good explanation on that, you know, for people to understand, you know, because you know, coaching with that, you know, it comes, you do pay for it. It comes with a price. Mentoring, yes, you pay, but in a different way once you actually perform and you've gotten, you know, your transactions and you compensate your mentor that way. But coaching, I think, you know, like I said, for a very, very short time, I did do some of the Tom Ferry coaching, and only did it short time just because of other personal reasons why it stopped. But I thought it was great, and I really think, you know, too, anywhere you can get, and there's so many great coaching things out there, and you know, and the programs, and so, you know, because like even with in the mornings when we do our coffee with Chris, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 10. But when that happens, you know, it really amazes me because the content, and there's a video every day of something, you know, and it's not like he just, okay, I'm going to play this one. No, he's done his research. He's watched them. He's, you know, thought it out. And I'm like, you know, I really respect that. It's like, because this stuff's work on top of all the other things the man does. But I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm hearing these things, and like he'll bring in there's just different videos of different people giving us. What's this other new guy? What's his name lately that he's been doing? Because I went and I subscribed to him. Now I'm trying to think. He's
social
on YouTube.
media guru.
Yeah, that
Jason Pantana.
Well, Jason, yes, but no, I love him. But this other man that he just recently did, Brandon. Is it Brandon? It's Brandon something.
I can't remember.
And he's just recently. I was trying to see if I saw it on here, but he's good too. And
I know the word of today that I left with is esoteric.
Oh, you put that on there. I
did.
saw that. What does that mean again, though? That was good.
That means basically there's a small niche of people that are your people. And I'm like, yes, I think that's going to be my word for this year, because just like I said in coaching, you got to find your niche. Your people are your people. And if you try to, there's, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think there's 15 different personality types.
Oh,
that's 15. So if I only get along with 4 of them, I need to stick with the 4.
Right.
Right. And so, and that really, numbers fascinate me.
Yeah.
And
I know.
I like all of it. And also really, if you look at numbers in your business, it's attainable. It truly is when you break down the numbers.
When you break them down and you really study it and look at it.
And so that's what I think about the personality types. I need to stick with, who I click with, who's in my groups, or what group do I create to bring my people together.
Yep.
And, there's books on, my tribe, my peeps, there's all these
stuff.
different, things that they always teach us, right?
Yes.
But the word that is the esoteric, I don't remember. Esoteric.
Yeah.
I think that is really cool.
That is a
really
cool word.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. My word for this year is to execute. Focus on execution.
Baby steps.
Yeah, because there's just so much that goes on up in here. And then, I don't feel like I have my hand, like how you were saying, like, find your field. I don't feel that. I feel like I've kind of figured out where I'm at.
Well, look what we're doing right now. This
Yeah.
is your field.
Yeah.
You blossom. You actually blossom when you do this.
Oh, well, thank you.
And
I
the
enjoy
people.
it. Yeah.
Because you love people.
Yeah, I do that. I do that. I do love people.
Yes, you do.
But people make me mad too. No, just kidding.
I've
No,
never
I'm not.
seen you mad.
Oh, okay. Don't do anything to piss me off. No, I'm just kidding. I really don't. No, I really don't. I mean, I just try. You know why? Because I feel that my gift that God gave me is to really be that middle person and listen and hear people out and understand where someone's coming from. I've never walked in your shoes, but I sure as heck can understand that.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to understand that, and I want to come alongside you and help you if I can.
Yes. And you being as a mentor, this is really saying, hey, I want to come alongside you and pull you out of that because, you can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
You're going to get your niche. Don't force it.
Don't force it. Don't try to be all these things that, yeah. Okay, can we go somewhere really quick with this? And this is just because maybe I can say it on this one because I don't know when I'll. Okay, there's something that really bothers me.
Oh, no. What is it?
In real estate.
Okay.
With our branding. Oh, God, please don't get people hate me.
Come on, bring it. We're getting real.
But as much as I love our lifestyle photos, because I do, I love all of our lifestyle photos, I don't understand the ones where I feel like some women feel like sex is going to sell them with, which it does. I'm not saying it doesn't, but maybe the way that you're dressing, the way that you're being, I don't see anything with being who you are. That's not it. It's just that I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, why do some of these pictures or some of these things?
Well, I'm the wrong person to be talking to you about
because
this.
It's like, why are you wearing my 16-year-olds have shirts. And that's okay.
Yeah.
She's not, I mean, yeah, they do whatever. And again, please, people, I'm not your judge. Only the Almighty High is the judge, not me.
Yeah, but I think it's also our industry. We really want. Well,
why though? I don't understand why women want to do that.
It's not just women.
I know. I was about to say that too.
But at the same time, I think our industry is not seen as professional. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's changed into like that it's not.
Yes, and I do think that I think every single. Oh, goodness, we could probably go back to 2008 when everything crashed, or we could go back to COVID when everybody was in pajamas showing houses because we were considered essential. But then they were in pajamas, and then our whole credential of being professional just
goes
went
out the door.
Yeah, just went out the door. So I think that being professional in our career is key. And actually, I have seen very professional, amazing
Me too.
women leaders
Yes.
who have this elegance about them. And they have,
and I love that because you
Yes.
feel it. You feel like that's a good word, the elegance.
Yes.
There's just something about them that they carry themselves well. And they can have the stylish, most beautiful, but you don't see them as unprofessional. You see them as, like you
Yes.
said, just
leaders in our industry.
Yes.
And that's where I think
I love that.
Yes. And that's where I get passionate. I'm
Yes.
probably leaning over the microphone because they inspire me.
Yes, they do me as well. Yeah.
And so I want beautiful, inspirational, amazing women leading the charge to say our industry we are knowledgeable. We know we are market experts.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the coaching comes in as well, is to say, hey, look, you have a brand. What is your brand? What is your UVP? What your unique value proposition? It is not the way you look, right? But, in any industry, it's always going to be how you look. But guess what? Some of the most amazing people that we have seen in Hollywood, in musicians, politics, in leaders or industries and gurus or whatever they are, once they start talking, they are going to keep the audience. So they're not a splash in the pan.
Yeah. So
you need to have the knowledge and the expertise to come out of your mouth to match your brand.
Yeah. I just don't want new people coming into this business thinking that that's what they have to do. They have to be this great billboard of something.
Yes. No.
Because I'm not saying, no, like we said, care about how you dress, and that kind of thing. But be who you are. Like you said, that's how you build your tribe, your people. I am going to be comfortable with people who are in their, comfy clothes like I am now versus somebody, that I'm going to go sell in River Oaks that maybe not because they have money, but maybe because of how they dress. You know what I'm saying? They're beautiful like you. You can walk into, because you're a prime example of somebody who can walk in and you have elegance about you. You carry yourself well. You're put together.
And she's talking about Susie, but it's not on the camera right now.
Sorry about that, people, but I do have somebody else, and she's just not on the camera.
And she's gorgeous.
But yes, okay. So anyway, the reality of that is that, like I said, that's why I don't want to open some type of Pandora box. It's just something that happened in my mind that I see sometimes. Some of these,
I would have to say
younger.
Yes, I do have to say the younger generation really understands brand as how they look.
Yes,
because that is what our world has told us. What our brand is.
I mean, I'm watching my daughter with all her little, TikToks or all her quick. I mean, every dang time we get out of the car here, I'm like, what? She's every time she hands me her phone, take pictures, and I get it. I just don't want them to think, because that's also, if you see more now in this world with young kids and more suicides, more this or that, because they think that they have to be this one thing because that's what's being put out there. And it's like, I have to, no. And it's because it's what's out there today for these young kids, but not us that were older.
But also at the same time, you're also speaking to somebody who sold their 4,400 square foot house, beautiful house, and moved into an RV with 2 teenage boys.
I know you do.
So I really don't fit the box. I live outside of the box. So really, when you talk about a brand, it's going to be talk about your integrity. And I would have to say the real estate world needs integrity. And I think that comes straight from the broker all the way down to the brand new agent. Is integrity. And that's where I think that JPAR, the Sears Group, actually is profound, a good word, in their whole persona of, we're gonna get you a brand. We're gonna teach you what that brand is, but it's gonna have integrity backed behind it. And I think that is the most important, and I think that's the most beautiful. With somebody with integrity. It doesn't have to go with their size, their makeup, their hair, any of that. I think integrity should be the most beautiful thing about a person. Now that's wishful thinking on my part, but
why would you say that? What do you mean that's wishful
because
thinking?
Because the world doesn't see that. Well, the world doesn't, promote.
I'm part of the world, and I see it.
I know. So, but think,
you're right.
I think the new agents, regardless of their age, coming into the industry, think that they have to wear a 3-piece suit or they have to wear high heels all the time. I mean, I'm in flip flops. What are you in?
the
Okay.
low booties.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is you can be who you are and you can still go to the networking events and look beautiful. And that's where you get dressed up and for your clients and interviews. Now, do you want to show up in, bunny slippers and no makeup on and your hair in, 2 ponytails and look cross-eyed? No, you don't want to do that. Right?
What?
You want to, I know, you just woke up. So you don't want to do that. But guess what? I've had to run because water was leaking at a client's house and I couldn't even change.
Yeah.
And so, yes, have I shown up at a house? It was an emergency situation.
Yeah.
But the way we present ourselves is very important. But I do think that you don't have to sell the way you look. To be a top producer.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not going to be a top producer. You can look like a top producer in the fakeness of social media. But no, I would say keep it real because they're going to get halfway through the transaction and realize they made a mistake.
Yeah. Because I do love social media. I'm not going to lie. I love it. I love watching things and people, the funny stuff, because that's my tribe. I want funny. I want goofy, And then like you say, these women, who is it that is on a lot? I really love the way she presents herself, and she just looks so natural too. Oh, Nancy, is it Nancy Amadora?
Oh, yes. I can't pronounce.
Yeah,
Yes.
her. And I watch her stuff because we follow her, and she's just you can just see it.
Oh, yeah.
Just to me, I've never met her, but I just feel this elegance, this just very simple. There's whatever, and she's talking her stuff, but I enjoy seeing that, and she's very stylish too, and shows all these things, and I love that. Like you said, that's a boss lady.
Yes. I
So-
love boss ladies.
Yes.
And the integrity and leadership that they do. I do have to say that there are some incredible men in the real estate industry, especially the young ones. I have been so impressed that they show up, they look sharp,
Yes.
and they want to learn from everyone. And their social media content is amazing.
Yep.
Their thoroughness, because I have to give men a huge compliment. They can focus on one thing, and they can really do the research on it. They can really find the end result that will help that client.
Yep.
Not that women can't be focused, but I do
What?
have to,
Just kidding.
so, but you're so right. But I do want to throw the men a huge thing, because I have seen the younger men really step up and put the look on real estate.
Yeah.
And really the class. Let's say we're called
They're classy.
Yes, they're classy, and the women are elegant. How
Yes.
about that?
Gosh, I'm so glad we had this little combo.
I know. That was a good topic to bring up.
That really was. It was good to have it with you, because I love how you can just say everything you've just said is just like, whoa, okay. Yeah, that's good. So thank you.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. All right. Well, I hate to say goodbye today, but I'm going to have to. It's just one of those things. It's time to go. But
Would you encourage coaching
absolutely.
to seasoned agents?
Absolutely. I'd even it to myself. I'd encourage it for myself. I got a lot of things to work on. But yeah, absolutely. Because I think that it's definitely something that people, like you said, it's the way we're focusing in on one type of thing and really getting you on that particular thing, and if it's getting back to your processes and things of that nature, because I think that's a big thing. Once we get going in real estate, and then if you don't have that platform down of, like you said, your processes to go, when you do get leads, what do you do with them? Okay, I'm putting my CRM, now what's happening? And like you said, the follow-up and all those things. We get so busy, or we just tend to not follow those things, and then before you know it, 2 years in, it's like, oh my God, where are all my people? And like I always tell people, even if you're not doing a CRM, get an Excel spreadsheet. Start doing and putting them in there, because you can always upload those into.
Oh, here's a good question Chris asked.
What?
What's the best CRM?
The one you use.
There you go. That's the right answer.
Exactly. And that's so true, So I think, yes, definitely coaching. I think for me, that would be my biggest thing is I would just want somebody, just every time, because I can put stuff into an Excel spreadsheet, but then maybe I didn't have, and I've got tubs and tubs and tubs of files. And you start, and you're like, did you do this?
Oh, that stresses me out.
I know, because, It stresses people out when they see my email and it's like 97,000 emails that were not deleted. I mean, that's exaggerating, but I know there's a lot of emails. And I was like, don't look at my phone then. Because I've had somebody say that to me. I'm like, well, don't be looking. So anyway, nonetheless, folks, again, it is what it is. And this is what I do every day. Okay, maybe not every day, but I do enjoy talking to agents and just trying to figure it out, just sharing what we all know or don't know and what we want to learn or what we don't want to learn, because trust me, there's a lot of things that are out there for us. So just stay tuned. It is what it is. We come with a new episode every week on a Thursday, and just keep it right here because we do just different segments with different folks. And if you're a JPAR agent and you're listening, you'd love to be on here too, and you got something you want to share, just hit me up. You know how to find me. Again, it's Brenda. It is what it is. Powerhouse Property Group and JPAR, the Sears Group. Be blessed.